processes around the food industry. A lot of things are not as they seemed to be. I can see again.
Also very refreshing. Kind of you feel how the body is healing.
G. Energy.
Yeah. Welcome everyone. Love you all. So today is day 7 since I started to do some workout just to go out every day, and yeah, I guess that was the main thing, just to go out. And now you saw me sitting under this beautiful tree. Has motivated me, or somehow giving me unexpected energy just to start to move my body, actually. Maybe to put it that general. Yeah, today, day 7, it's, I guess, 10ish o'clock.
In March 26 here in Berlin, right now, the riverbank
Of the river Spree in Treptow. Was a bit colder before, but still should be 16 degrees Celsius today, although not really sunshine. I mean, it's this foggy mess again. But still there's some sunlight. The geese, they seem to not matter. Interesting language, isn't it? Yeah, so still fasted, of course. Yesterday I broke my fast a bit earlier. I had lunch with family at 1 o'clock. Maybe I show a picture here because it was very delicious. Don't know what it's called, but this was eggs in the middle of vegetables like zucchini, peppers, red peppers, some carrots, and cheese, mozzarella cheese. Yeah, it was very delicious. And anyways, this is, you can see here what my weight was this morning. So for me at least, typically the thing is when I start to eat, when I break my daily fast, which you are doing too, right? Because you get up, and the first time then, after getting up, after stopping to sleep and waking up, this is when you break your fast, right? So you fasted all through the night, maybe without you knowing that it's actually fasting. So it helped me because I just prolonged this time window and extended my fast. I guess it was already back in 2017 when I started to skip breakfast in the morning, or let's say to push it just more towards the end of the day. So, but most people would say if you start having your first food of the day at lunchtime, that it's lunch that you have. But then you're breaking your fast with the lunch, right? Actually. So for me, it's easier to keep on fasting after waking up. And if I do OMAD, which is
1 meal a day,
then I just postpone the break fast, so to say, as much as possible towards the evening. And if I want to fast more than one day, then it's also a bit easier because it's only this unusual situation that somewhere between afternoon and the evening night, let's say, around this time, depending on, I would say, well, actually, highly depending on the activity, or maybe if activity at all, because for me it's much easier to not think about eating if I'm just doing something where I can get into the zone, right? You're just in the flow of doing something, whatever it is that
Puts you in your zone that resonates the most with you.
right? So then, like starting fast with these days, then it's the easiest to just at some point in the evening just say, you know what? I know this feeling in my stomach, which is ghrelin. It's one hormone, if I remember correctly. First heard about it.
Where is the thing you in this channel?
And yeah, also in this case, I can recommend
A couple of more channels that I learned from back then. Oh yeah, especially that one. Because what he learned, I learned from as well.
Actually, that started the whole journey.
WIL started the whole journey for me. So now you know. Personally, I once wrote you on Twitter and you liked it. But now you know it personally that I really enjoy your channel. So,
You should check it out. Okay. Actually, I just did in the woods.
there,
I just did another performance.
if you're interested,
You can watch it also in my channel, but it's in German. And you see this prefix, this
hashtag DAI, which means this is in a specific language for your standing German. Yeah, of course.
sorry, yeah. And that was pretty intense also, I would say. Just recently found out that this thing doing this German guy, Günther Günzler, it just puts me in a good mood, let's say. So I started doing it more often somehow, some way, whatever. Back to the thing. So if depending on the activity, it's easier. So actually, if I stay at home and plan to do whatever work, paperwork, of course, sitting in front of the screen or the screens, but this is when it's harder for me because I start to think about
some activity that I am used to do around this era and this location, I guess. So, I'm in this room or whatever, and it was a couple of times that I remembered I ate in this room. And I don't know, but maybe this is the case why then, working, all of a sudden, the thought of food enters my mind. And the pictures of food start to manifest in my mind.
I don't know. All I can tell is if I'm out, then it's not that way. Then it's easier because other thoughts and, let's say, impressions enter the mind, right? And in cases forcefully. So just this fasting thing, keto, it was first keto, and fasting, and I would say just making your metabolism more flexible in general. I had this phase where I was very strict at the beginning, and I guess life circumstances also allowed it for me, slash forced it or pushed it a bit into this direction. Around 2019 I was 106 point something kilograms. That was my maximum ever weight. I don't know what happened. I also got a comment from my daughter. I'm a fatty McFat or something along those lines. As part of my career till just recently, starting as a software developer and then a software consultant in cybersecurity and identity and access management quite recently. And also some just general consulting in regards to business process modeling and shared understanding and stuff. And this is for years where I would say I was used to just learning new domains from customers, right? So you need to understand the business cases and everything involved, all the consumers, of course, but also all the people developing a product, right? Each and every personality makes for a good product development, right? Especially if it's digital product development. But okay, don't get me started. That just as a side note. So I learned to get into domains, but actually it seemed I never got into the domain of nutrition and health. So domains that really affect yourself, right? So I would say it seemed that it just happened that I applied these domain analyzing and skills and questioning things, just asking a lot of questions. There's also this concept of the 5 whys. You ask why, so you get to the actual reason and the motivation behind some things, right? It's just one of the concepts that you can use. Yeah, so I started to question things and processes around the food industry and the health industry, and again, thanks to what I learned, then I changed my diet, started to fast longer because I tried this keto 2017 already. This was after some health situation that I had already back then, and I needed to recover. And I also was back then in rehab. Yeah, and I remember there they told you, as I would say, things that are questionable. And you might come to your own conclusions, which might differ from those that they told you about in this rehab thing, or actually in every official source or narrative and stuff. I don't want to get into too much details now, but maybe I can recommend you some channels, because as always, I can only let you know about my personal experience. You have to make your own personal experience. So, because actually, I don't know nothing. Or I think I know a few things. And if only it is that a lot of things are not as they seemed to be. Then just some things changed. I lost weight. First, quite quickly, because I learned the body then loses water that it stored because of all the carbs. On the one hand, it feels stressful, but also very refreshing. Kind of you feel how the body is healing, and through this kind of also the mind with that. I can see again. So there, you see, there is sunlight coming through this. Yeah, that was before the thing that they say happened 100 years ago, and then 100 years ago as well. I thought I kind of, in hindsight, would describe it as I'm now woken up to some lies around the food industry and health system. And I cannot deny I also knew about the involvement of the government when it's about studies that, for example, this one that resulted in the food, the pyramid. Man, I forgot his name. It's Ansel Keys. Actually, a hint or a clue that
Also, it can be that the government is
involved in certain things.
right.
And actually, also, I should have known, because when you see in other cases how far this involvement goes, which also I cannot deny, I knew since one thing, right? Where, at least in Germany, there also was this movement against more surveillance and control, and actually back then this got the whole thing started for me with the cybersecurity stuff, I would say, and the awareness and caring for security practices and the whole mindset around this, and encryption and SecOps and all the things around.
And yet, I did the thing one time. Yes, I did it one time. One time. With and
Stuff. So you see, there's not one goal or target point, not one thing to achieve or to reach. No. It's always about the journey. It won't stop. This journey won't stop, I guess.
at the least is what
I would describe it right now. And just if you
deal
with it, things change. Things change. I don't know if I do much workout today. Yeah, so we had a short visit of our friend here, as you could see. Yeah, it's really nice here, a lot of ducks around, and as you saw in the other videos, quite some very beautiful geese. Starting with keto back then, and then also tried carnivore stuff and really felt better, and then got into all this topic of spirituality, of course philosophy and meditation and awareness and source and consciousness, and let's say it gave me a hard time, or harder and harder time, eating animals, definitely eating dead animals. And I mean, just check, I had one or the other post on my Twitter account what I ate back then. And yeah, I had a 5 days fast in February, more or less unplanned, kind of just happened. Back to the thing is, I guess, this whole topic, I mean, our world, right? It goes back to our world,
Our realm, which is, I would say, a realm of duality.
and why would I be surprised if this duality would not also be present when it's about food or just energy source? What gave me hope is that while questioning energy sources and the availability of certain energy sources, that maybe in the past, or whatever time is, by the way, there was or maybe let's say there were alternative
Energy resources also for humans, maybe. Tai Chi, Hachi, in the chakra, Tachi.
you know what I mean.
Chi, energy.
But kind of gave me hope again. Even if
Not now, because now isn't the time and the space of duality.
just wanted to say that to me it felt like in order for the body, the materialistic
Part for us here in that realm,
that animal-based food,
at least according to all the doctors and the studies of the keto scene and carnivore scene. Hello, Doctor Paul Mason. Down under. Or maybe actually way only over there. You see, just way over there.
who knows, because actually you cannot go explore if you didn't know.
It was in the 50s. And it was called the Antarctic Treaty. Should start you question some things.
But that
Just on a side note. Also gotta learn. Not such a big topics that distract you so much from the actual topic.
no, just everything just
Flows. It's just a flow. Just like this river is a flowing from this one direction to the other, and sometimes it happens it is also flowing backwards.
yeah, actually it's flowing backwards, as I learned.
Due
To some swamp era in the Spreewald or Dahme, right, that kind of dries out and then sucks up water or holds back or whatever.
everything is in the flow. And everything is duality.
So it's up to you. It's your choice, right? A lot of times it's your choice if you decide for
The black or the white. Or the good or the bad.
this is, I guess, the most important part. Maybe just decide to not
Hurt other humans. And if possible, also not other animal friends. Other life form friends.
one thing gets you to the next, right? Because it's when it's
About life forms.
yeah. If you start to see everything as a life form, then of course you also start to question the whole I don't eat animal stuff topic.
Veganism. Ish. Because they also have consciousness. Is it only about Lucia? Lucia, I don't know. I don't know. But your mind affects things in this materialistic realm.
This, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, maybe it's just because we unlearned? We're unlearned?
As a civilization, maybe. Maybe so much unlearned as a civilization. We don't know. We don't know. But there's stuff to learn, remember again.
So some things, maybe they're more for genetic
Field or whatever, which I can imagine as a concept. Working just fine, would explain a lot of things.
Of course, you have to put it on the table as all the other things and possibilities that you start to remember.
Feel it in your bones, so to say. There's something in you that cannot be removed.
I don't know. What is it? These
Out-of-body experiences.
maybe you personally had one, like
I had a dream where I started to become aware that I am in a dream. And with your awake consciousness, and also sometimes with your memory of the awake world, you're in the dream. Come to your own conclusions. What is possible in the situation?
yeah, and what other people reported. Seems it is a thing. So where was it? In The Courage to Be Disliked, where I guess Adlerian psychology talks about this.
The body and mind and soul is inseparable. Maybe only in this materialistic world of dualism and materialistic bodies.
But not once you had this experience yourself, right? That
You're in a dream, but you still can feel your body. As if you had a body, and sometimes with other physical experiences. Like you can fly or you fall from great height, but you're not dead or something, or not great pain or whatever. Or maybe, I don't hope so for you, even greater pain than usual or whatever, but I don't hope so for you, I don't hope so.
but who knows, might be possible,
Because it's in the dream.
right?
So, that was some radar zoomed in, but also with a breadth of unusual information. Or you're totally used to it.
Whatever it is.
Or maybe let me know in the comments of the platform of your choice.
Okay, sometimes
Try to just take a deep breath.
if it's just only one, just this awareness of your body, and don't think of too much other things, then you can rebalance, because balance is something that you need to
Have in our world of duality. Douche, I guess. Was a quite long video for now.
But I touched on a
Couple of different topics.
but I think
Every one of them.
directly or indirectly is related to the topic of your personal health. or let's say everyone's health, of course, to the health of a being, a conscious being. Yeah, and with that, take one more deep breath and see you tomorrow.
How did I do? Was the horizon on eye level? While my eyes closed? No, I'm pretty sure it wasn't. No, it wasn't. But I'm practicing. Practicing.